Hello everyone, and today we're back into another top 5, and we're going to be talking about the top 5 most annoying Loomians in Loomian Legacy. I made this list a long time ago, and I think it's time to update it because, man, there are so many Loomians that are extremely annoying nowadays. So, let's head right on to this list. So, number 5 onto this list is actually going to be Metronet. And I am talking exclusively about the Hypnotize Metronet. Hypnotize on Metronet is extremely annoying, considering that it has solid stats across the board, a very high range attack and a very high speed stat with an amazing defensive typing. You get a Hypnotize and 2 Peace of Minds off, and all of a sudden your Metronet is absolutely unstoppable. Just getting 1 or 2 Peace of Minds off, and that Metronet can absolutely sweep any team, which is just really scary. Not to mention there are not many counters to a Metronet, considering that you can outspeed most fire types, and bug types are not really existent right now, besides Deludrix and Metronet. Deludrix and Harvesect, I mean. So, yeah, it's very hard to deal with Metronet. Not to mention that it also has Dark Surge, which has a chance to flinch the opposing Loomian. So that's what makes Metronet extremely annoying. The only reason it is number 5 is because you have to run Metronet in order for it to be extremely annoying, but if you don't, it's not the most annoying thing to deal with. But with Hypnotize, oh my goodness, this thing can absolutely destroy teams, and it definitely deserves to be the top 5 most annoying Loomian. Number 4 onto the list is actually going to be Pyroline. Pyroline is extremely annoying because Pure Fire is a great defensive typing, and it has great range bulk. With 119 base health stat and a 79 base range defense stat with Peace of Mind, makes this one of the best range tanks in the game. Not to mention that with Pure Fire and Fanning Flame, you only have 2 weaknesses, which is to Earth and also to water, because you lose your air weakness with Fanning Flame, which means, yeah, you use one of your weaknesses as a hidden strength for Pyroline. Not to mention that it has a range attack stat of 133, has Cureline coverage, and it even has Rejuvenate. This is one of the hardest Loomians to deal with in the entire game, because it can hit really hard, has great bulk on both sides, and it has Cureline coverage, meaning it can actually hit a lot of Loomians in the game, besides Luminami. So, this thing is extremely annoying. It's not in the top 3 though, because melee attackers can somewhat go through it, but even then, you need a lot of specific Loomians in order to really counter a Pyroline. This thing is extremely annoying, and it definitely deserves to be on this list. Although it barely misses the top 3, and you will see who's in the top 3. The top 3 are definitely the most annoying Loomians in the entire game, but Pyroline definitely deserves to be number 4. Number 3 onto the list is going to be Obsidergon. The most annoying Loomian in the entire game, the most broken Loomian in the entire game. Obsidergon is basically everything. It is still extremely annoying. It might not be a number 1 most annoying anymore, but it still deserves to be in the top 3. Has Drudge, has Body Crash. I mean, this thing can live a +5 blow tox at +0. It can live multiple hits from a Gargolem attack form as well. This thing is extremely OP. Not to mention that it could even run Rageful Plushie. It has Beast Slumber that increases its melee and range defense. And it even has coverage moves like Mega Chomp and Earthquake to deal with other typings. Not to mention that you know that Body Crash move that deals extra damage that Spirit type's immune? Well, you have Ancient Stab, which can hit those Spirit types super effectively, which gives Obsidergon the perfect coverage in the entire game. So, Obsidergon is one of the most annoying Loomians to deal with. Even with Resilience being nerfed, still makes Obsidergon a top 3 annoying Loomian. But instead of being number 1, it's number 3. And it's still one of the most overpowered Loomians in the entire game. And it's probably still going to be the best melee tank in the entire game as well. So, Obsidergon did drop from number 1 to number 3 in the annoying scale. but it's still really annoying, and it still deserves to be in the top 3 of this list. Number 2 and number 1, though, have definitely been more annoying for me in the long run. Number 2 onto this list is going to be Revenine. And the Vengeance Revenine is why it's on this list. Vengeance is just a really overpowered ability. When a Loomian on your own team faints, it doubles the attack stat for Revenine, and that can be extremely scary. Even if you have a ranged tank, this thing can actually break through ranged tanks in 2 hits most of the time, which is really scary. Especially if you have a team of barbs and poison barbs. Revenine being one of the best late game cleaners, and it has very good coverage as well. It has Fire, Spirit, and Dark, meaning it can hit a lot of the game really well. The only type it can't really hit is Ancient, but even then you have Dark Surge, so you can still hit them neutrally. If you make the right prediction with Revenine with Vengeance, it can do some extremely good damage. It also has priority, meaning that you can actually outspeed stuff like Ursul and Vesperatu, so it's very, very, very annoying to deal with. Especially if you don't have a ranged tank that can consistently swap into a Revenine. And even then, that might still not work. You can only switch into that ranged tank once before it's at low HP. So that makes Revenine really annoying. It's not number 1, though, because you have to have a Loomian KO on your own team to be annoying. But yeah, when it happens, it's extremely annoying to deal with. The most annoying Loomian in the entire game is Helvantic. Oh my gosh. I cannot deal with Helvantic to save my life. There are only a couple Loomians that can really fully counter Helvantic's hits. The only Loomians on the top of my head is Timber and Tyrex. There might be other Loomians in the game that can soak hits better. But Helvantic just always seems to be really annoying to deal with. Has awesome coverage. Not quite as good as the Ludric's coverage, but it's probably the best coverage out of any melee attacker besides Hunter, which is insane. Has a very high melee attack stat. Very insane health stat. I mean, it has a health stat of over 120, meaning it can soak hits on both sides. And while it is quad weak to Earth, it does have some very good resistances. It's an electric type that can get rid of poison barbs. With aggressive, can make it one of the best late game cleaners. It also has a very high melee attack stat and a very solid speed stat. And the thing is, since it has amazing coverage, once it gets that +1, it's almost unstoppable. You cannot beat a Helvantic once it gets +1 or +2. And that's what makes Helvantic one of the most annoying Loomians in the entire game. And it definitely deserves number 1 on this list. And it's definitely the most annoying Loomian in my opinion. Here it is, Helvantic. The most annoying Loomian in the game at this point. Of course, my opinions are going to change over time. And plus, as the game goes on, my opinion on the most annoying Loomians will change in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, me talking about the top 5 most annoying Loomians. And I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!